Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Raven for Wolfpack Productions, and I wanted to discuss a couple of sports topics with you. Obviously, the first one being what could be the dumbest trade in the history of the Dallas Mavericks, my own team, by the way. Yes, I'm mad at the Mavericks management for this, but so is half the city of Dallas. The trade was Anthony Davis is coming to Dallas, yay, for Luka Doncic, who of all teams is going to the Lakers? Ugh. Yeah, I hate the Lakers. So what? No bias shown in this video. This trade has got to be the dumbest thing for one reason. We have to give up, Luka Doncic, Markieff Morris, and Maxi Kleber all go to the Lakers. And they sent somebody to the Jazz who we don't even get. So this trade doesn't even bounce right there. Jazz shouldn't have even been involved. And that sends Anthony Davis. And let's see, who was it? It just sends Anthony Davis to the Mavericks. Sends the other guy that was supposed to come to the Mavericks to the Jazz for some reason. This, it's already hurt. It's going to hurt the Mavericks in the long run because Luka was our man. He was our star player. He was our second coming of Dirk Nowitzki. And of all things, I don't know why Mark Cuban didn't block this trade. He could have. But for some reason did not. How do I see it working out? Well, Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. If it were him going to literally any other team for any other star player that doesn't have injury issues, like AD does, then yeah, I'm fine with it. And I know Dallas is probably going to come. If they could find me, fellow Mavericks fans would be throwing things at me. Virtually in Facebook. Anyway, with that said, I'm not okay with this, and I hope the NBA steps up and blocks it, but it's rare for them to do so, so therefore I don't see it happening. Now, the other topic is the Oakland Athletics move. Yes, I'm still calling them the Oakland A's. Get used to it. They haven't revealed their name or where they're going yet, so their first stop is Sacramento. That's not going to work for the same reason the Vegas move won't work. Their ballpark isn't big enough. Yeah, you can potentially brag about selling out a 7,000-seat minor league ballpark every day. And it still doesn't hold a candle to, say, selling out Globe Life Park in Arlington or Chavez Ravine Dodger Stadium in LA, some of the bigger markets, or even, your smaller market teams, like your Torontos or your just about anywhere in California that's not the LA Dodgers or the San Francisco Giants. It's not going to work in Vegas. It's not going to work in Sacramento. I can see one or two things happening for Oakland. They get the stadium, and the A's move back. And this move that they're doing now is just temporary while they're waiting on a stadium, which I think is the real case here. Or the MLB decides, hey, we did a stupid here in letting these guys move. We're going to give them an expansion team. We're going to give them their history back. Because I feel like, honestly, and this ties in because it's a similar topic, it's a similar situation to where the Utah Hockey Club is now, where they're basically a new team. When they moved, they didn't take anything from Arizona. They left it with the NHL because they knew the NHL was going to come back to Phoenix one day or somewhere in Arizona. But the Coyote situation is somewhat similar to the A's situation. Both need a ballpark. And, Brody Brazil actually came up with a pretty good point about this yesterday. He brought up the White Sox, Tampa Bay, and the Athletics situation, and the Kansas City Royals situation. It's all similar. It all meshes in because they all are inside of new stadiums. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but either the Cleveland Browns or the Cleveland Guardians are in this little mess too because they need a new stadium. Funny thing is, Kansas City would pay 2-point-something billion for a stadium for the Chiefs, yet they won't do it for the Royals, who have been playing outdated Kauffman Stadium for God knows how long now. And honestly, that shows you where Kansas City's priorities are. Oh, yeah, and Nashville did the same thing. Nashville wants a baseball team. Mayor says, Oh, sorry, we're all tapped out because we just spent all of our $2 billion in funding on a new stadium for the Titans. I can get that. Stadium was built when they came in around 2000, or was it 2001-ish? But still, the fact is that this A's move is not going to work. There's not a stadium in Vegas that can hold that enough people for it to be profitable. Same thing with Sacramento. Sacramento and Las Vegas are just temporary stops. Now, Brody Brazil brought this up, and I agree. Vegas is not going to get to keep the A's. However, I do see them getting an expansion if they can get a bigger ballpark made. Or if they can somehow expand the one for the Las Vegas Aviators, which is their minor league team, by the way. And just one more thing I want to bring up on the Tampa Bay point. Where do I see them heading? I bring this up because, again, it's the same situation as the Oakland Athletics situation. I honestly can't see them staying in Tampa. Sorry, Tampa. However, Florida will not lose a baseball team, in my opinion. I mentioned this to Desert Aztec the other night, my co-streamer here on this, my co-host here on this channel at times. I said, well, what do you think of Tampa Bay possibly moving to Orlando? He's for it because, again, Tampa Bay loses their team, but Florida does not, even though Florida has the Marlins too. Where in Florida will they go? It's obvious. It's Orlando. Honestly, you could keep the Rays name. Orlando Rays still doesn't sound bad. I mean, it sounds better than the proposed Orlando Dreamers name. I mean, there's only so much you can do playing off the fact that Orlando is the Magic Kingdom and has Disney World. The Orlando Magic were basically the only team that you could possibly do that for. You can't be doing that for all of them because you're going to run out of ideas, and I think they have with the potential Dreamers name. Now that all that's out of the way, I want to talk about one more thing, and that's the naming of the team, the Utah Hockey League. Now, we all know that Yeti came out and said they don't want themselves associated with the Utah Hockey Team. Yeah, I called them Hockey Team instead of Hockey Club. What I don't want is to see Utah Hockey Club keep their current name. It's too generic. It gives kind of PTSD-ish to the Washington football team name. In another video, I will speak on how I feel about the Redskin name possibly coming back. But for now, how do I feel about the potential names? You have Mammoth, you have... What was that one? Yasich, I think, named after the mountains. If there's somebody from Utah watching this, and I massacred that name, which I probably did, let me know in the comments. But there's Yasich, Mammoth, Outlaws, and Hockey Club were the ones that I read up on. And I would just throw Hockey Club out the window. That's what I'd honestly do here. What would I go with? Outlaws or Mammoth? There was also another write-in suggestion from me. Since you have the Salt Lake City Bees, what about the Utah Swarm? You could literally have them come in to fly to the Bumblebee because it's appropriate. You could also have a beehive sound, a hive buzzing sound over the intercom when they come out, kind of like what the Charlotte Hornets do. And also, like the Hornets, you could call their place the Hive. Although they will be playing the Delta Center for a few years, which is the home of the Jazz, and then they'll get their own place a few years later. But again, what name would I go with? Outlaws or possibly, if it's a choice, Swarm. Anyway, that's enough about me talking sports for the day. I just wanted to get this stuff out of the way and all that. So remember to like, comment, subscribe. And you know what? Check out my two other videos today. The arcade episode on Penguin Adventure for the MSX. And Sims 4 Twin Sanity episode 1. Check those out and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.